Hey everybody, it's Elgin. One of these conversations with Elgin, and guess what? Guess what, dude? I have on the conversations right now not only a good friend of mine, an excellent business partner, but here's what you guys really need to know and pay attention to. Very rarely are you able to actually speak, hear from freely someone that's at the high level of their business every day that's doing this stuff now. See, a lot of times we're on the stuff of webinars and conversations, and we talk to people that did something 20 and 30 years ago, or we talk to some people that, hey, they had a great, year or career or 5 or 10 minutes. We're talking to somebody that I have. So, you guys know I've been doing this for, Nate teases me, but I've been doing this for 34 years now. But I've known Nate over 20. I've known Nate over 20, and for 20 years, this guy has been one of the highest productive real estate professionals I have ever met. And even though I can cheat and get his time, he allowed me to open you guys up into his world. So with that kind of Steve Harvey type introduction,
wow.
What's up, Nate Butcher?
Hey, how are you, Elgin? Doing well, doing well. Thank you very much for all that. We're all just working, we're just trying to make it, right?
Man, you're doing great, and you and your family, and I'm not gonna hold you up real long, but I want people to really get in, some ideas about you, your business, where you think the market's going. We'll talk a little EXP, but I want people to really understand. They hear me all the time, and I think I'm like old bread right now. I'm just stale. They don't believe me anymore. So I want them to hear from someone that's better than I am, and they can get some ideas.
It happens to all of us. Our team just went to the Bill Pipes, John Cheplack, Daniel Beer at the Red Rock, and it was awesome. There 22 of us went together, and we learned it, and we're all sitting there, and Bill's up there. Bill's amazing, by the way, if you ever get a chance to hear Bill Pipes speak. And he's up there, and he's saying these things. They're taking notes, and they're just so blown away by what he's saying. I'm like, man, I've been saying that for a year, the exact same. So, hey, sometimes we all get stale with the ears to hear the same, but hopefully I could answer any questions you have and shed like a new light on, on the old subject, right? Real estate's real estate. We kind of still sell it a lot of the same way, but there's always new ways to look, new ways to do things, and to stay up with what's going on.
You know what? We'll start there. That was going to be one of my questions, but I was going to wait till a little bit later. But since you jumped right into there, I can jump into it.
Sure.
So here's one thing that I've known about Nate, you guys, that Nate has always been a database guy. Nate has always been the guy that has built his database up, put his head down, call his database, do 50, 60, 70 deals a year at an average sales price of $1 quadrillion, and he'd have one assistant, and that was that. Back in the day, I would be going to your webinars and seminars. So, Nate, you should come see something. Nate, you should come see. So all of a sudden now, for me to see this guy has transformed his business into a huge team. And then to see that there's, like how you say, 22 of them that go to this one seminar, and to see the excitement, and I'm like, Nate, who are you? So man, tell me what shifted you.
I'll tell you exactly what I did, Elgin. I spent 17 years doing everything, not everything, doing a lot of things the wrong way, and I'll tell you why. I didn't think at the time it was arrogance. I didn't think at the time it was like I didn't need training, I didn't need help. It wasn't arrogance, it was ignorance. And ignorance in the fact that I just kind of went with my, natural talent of speaking in relationships with people, which that's one of the things that I am better at, right? So I just went with that, and I worked by myself, and that model was great, and I sold a lot of homes, okay, and I took all my money home. I had a big net, that type of thing. So, and I always heard about people getting training, going to this and going to that. And I'm like, man, I don't need any of that. Well, that was incorrect. Okay. If I would have got a coach, a trainer, a team, if I would have had mentors to follow, Elgin, I can't even tell you where I could probably be right now. But okay, so that stage of life passed, and I got introduced to the coach that I'm coaching with now, which is John Cheplack, and then I met Bill Pipes and Daniel Beer, and found out, wow, there's a whole other world out there of knowledge that I knew nothing about. So when you say selling 60 or 70 transactions, 80, maybe, okay, that's great, but you have a bandwidth, and you can only do that many for your whole career each year, because there's not enough of Nate to go around or enough of Elgin to go around, right? So once I started training and coaching and learning and teaching, I started really seeing the big picture. And I didn't do that until my late 40s, 51 now. So it's been about 3 years I've been doing that. Changed my life. I would recommend it to everyone. There's all kinds of great coaches out there. The only thing that I would recommend, and I'll do a plug for Agent Academy, and that's John Cheplack, Bill Pipes, and Daniel Beer, is the coaches there are still in the game. So the coaches there are still running teams. They're doing 500 transactions. Some of them 2,000, 1,000, 30 people, 60 people. So no matter what your business model is, I would say get a coach and let that coach hold you accountable. Accountability is everything.
That's good. That's good stuff. Yeah, what? I actually know Bill, and it seems and been involved in some of Bill's speaking. I know of the other two. I know of John. I know of Daniel, but I don't know them. So that's cool. That sounds exciting.
I know John and Daniel, or Dan and John. Obviously, I don't know Bill. The first time I ever met Bill was just at the team leader meeting. But he absolutely blew it away. But they're not theorists. I mean, these are people, in there. So I would say get you a good coach, and whatever success is to you, whatever route that you want to do. I had a great time selling with just me and an assistant, maybe one buyer's agent for all those years. And now we're going into the team mode, and we're training brand new people. We're training newer agents, and I love having them come on, and we're growing bigger, and we're just going to keep doing that.
So in that transition, is your goal at some point? I'm sure it's not now because you make too much money. But are you transitioning to where you personally plan to do less at some point? You may not be this year.
That's a great question. So that's what what I did is I agreed with John Cheplack. He only coaches personally the team leaders. Okay. So, and the plan that I'm on is very structured. So there's accountability. This has to be done. Step 1, 2, 3, 4 to get where I want to go. The plan says that I am not supposed to sell. I am supposed to spend all of my time on my agents and building their business. So right now I've taken my personal production down from about 80, let's just say average 70, maybe that might be embellishing a little bit. I've taken that down to I'll only do 30 this year. Now, the reason I've done that, we generate a lot of leads and we do everything in-house. We do all of our lead generation in-house. So everything from database to Google to all the different realtor.com and HomeLight and all those different things, right? So I've taken my production down to this year. I want to keep it at 30 personal for my sphere only. So I don't take any incoming leads. Those all go to the team. And just for my personal sphere, people that just are they're not going to let anybody else do it after those relationships. I'm still doing those. Where it's going to go from there, I don't know. If the only way that I'll stop selling is when, it's kind of like when I left my job as a police officer, when I was losing money by going to the police department, then I stopped. Okay. So when I am losing money by taking a listing because I'm not helping my agent or this and that, then I'll probably stop. But the whole point is for me to be available for them. But right now we're only 14 months old. Our team is young. There's 36 of us, and hopefully 41 by the end of the month will be onboarded. But my focus needs to be, how do I build each one of their businesses? So it's actually shortchanging them when I'm dialing my database, right? They're getting shortchanged, but in the same sense, we got to pay the bills, right? So I'm still bringing in a lion's share of those listings. That money's got to go for the team. So that's the way we're working it right now. So we're just going to take it and see how it goes.
I hope you guys are listening to what he just said. That's something to keep up with what he just mentioned. He just mentioned he has a team of 36 agents that are probably going to be 41 agents at the end of the month or so. The key part of that is he said 14 months. So this is 14 months old, give or take a few months here or there, or whatever, that he's gone from a single agent, an icon agent, and not just icon at EXP. Nate's an icon in the real estate business if you are aware of your peers. And he's gone from pretty much one assistant, maybe a buyer's agent off and on here and there, and himself. And he's transformed that in 14 months to 36 agents on his team. Now, if you guys aren't paying attention, or as I know that a lot of you guys that follow me now are not in the Santa Clarita Valleys in particular, you may not see all of Nate's and his team's social media stuff. So Nate also was never really a big social media guy. Now, all of a sudden, all I see on my computer is that Nate used to tell me, he used to see me too much. I mean, you don't see, I'm invisible compared to Nate on social media right now. And one of the things I would like to give him flowers and credit for is one thing that Nate does really well, and that's why I wanted to emphasize about his team, is Nate has always had the ability to look at something in the future, and he's always had the ability to pivot. He has had a chance to pivot, and it's not like a gradual thing, kind of like how the markets change, or the market didn't just change gradually. We just woke up one day and the market was different. Well, Nate's been able to do that with his business. He's been able to do that with his career, and I have seen him do this time and time again. Talk to me a little bit about how you became more comfortable opening yourself up, because it's not just like, Nate, I sold, all these houses and blah, blah, blah. These guys giving flowers to his team members. He's giving kudos to other agents, and he's also opened himself up personally online a little bit. How did you make that transition? Because I know from conversations you and I've had how uncomfortable that it was for you at one point.
Yeah. I still don't post a lot of personal information, and I know that they say that I should. Everything for me is just work, and it's all real estate related, or motivational related, or mindset related, things like that. So that is kind of where I'm going with that. As far as the way I'm going to run my business, though, I truly feel like I have enough attention. And what I mean by that is, why do I promote our agents and promote our team? I get this a lot. Nate, you've got, you guys closed, let's say 14 escrows last month, and you put every single person on there with their DRE and their phone number and everything, and you run ads for those agents. Don't you have every recruiter in the world calling them? Yes, I do. Are they getting calls every week? Yes, they are. Okay. But I'm not afraid of that, because the way I look at it is, I only want people who want to be in our group. And that just makes me, if I am going to lose someone, why did I lose them? Why was there not enough value there? I've learned this. People don't leave for money. They don't leave you for splits. They leave you for leadership. They leave you for not being significant. They leave you for not being acknowledged. Okay. They leave you for being forgotten. So what we're basically doing is, I am not the champion of the Nate Butcher Group. I'm the guide. I'm trying to create 40 champions, 50 champions, 60 champions. How do I create and champion them so their careers blossom and they do good? Look, if all of my folks are just crushing it and they're the biggest agents in LA and Ventura County, we have agents all over LA. We have somebody that lives in Downey, we have somebody that lives in Long Beach, we have Manhattan Beach, we have Thousand Oaks, so down in the San Fernando Valley. So they're from all over. So here's what I'm doing. I'm basically expanding. I don't know if you read the article, but there's a blue ocean and a red ocean, right? The blue ocean is I'm going to the blue ocean and, I'm looking at an agent in Bakersfield to take the Nate Butcher Group Bakersfield. So there's things like that I'm doing because that allows me to close those 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000 transactions. And that's where we're going with it. So I think by creating champions, it just lifts me up as well. And I'm a true believer in, a high tide lifts the whole shit, like lifts everyone, right? So, and that's the way we're going to do it. And if the recruiters want to come beating up the door and somebody leaves because they get a little bit better split, well, there's always a better split out there, right? So
Right.
we don't worry about that.
Right.
We look at our bottom line net, how much does each agent make? And we put a lot of money back into them. And then we'll just see how it grows, but it's going great right now. We have wonderful, wonderful people, wonderful. I think that's why we're doing so well. It's the people that we have they're just into it. And I had to get them on social media and it took a while, but if you look now, they're all posting 5 or 6 times a day. So if you take 30 people posting 5 times a day, you got 150 Nate Butcher Group posts a day on all social media platforms. That's the way we do it, right? That's the way we do it.
That's pretty smart. So now you guys are seeing why I wanted you guys to actually take to listen to some of the stuff that Nate is progressively doing. So I'm gonna take you back just a few months.
Okay.
So as of July, 4 years ago, Pilar and I made a move to EXP Realty.
Yeah.
And I got a call from my good friend here, Nate. And anybody knows Nate. He doesn't necessarily at that point be the most patient guy. So Nate happens to reach out to me and, hey, you just moved to this EXP or whatever it is. Amy's his wife, just told me you and Pilar, who's my wife, as you guys know, did you guys just move to EXP? I think I accidentally, and I know I accidentally hit the button on social media that I wasn't supposed to do that yet. And before I could do anything else, Nate was one of the first people that called me. And Nate said, can you meet me right now? Can you meet? He wanted to talk. You want to talk right now? And I'm like, actually asked me, what are you doing? I'm thinking, I'm working. What are you doing? You're working. What? Meet me over Starbucks. Meet me at Starbucks. So I was like, okay. So, and I got there on time, but Nate had been there. I'm thinking okay. And Nate hit me up with every possible EXP question that he could have hit me up with. And I had to I said, Nate, look, I've been here 5 minutes. I don't know half of the stuff you're asking me. This is why Pilar and I went. This is what I see, blah, blah, blah. And Nate told me, he said, man, he goes, okay, I'm going to think about this. I think Nate called me a day later and he was on his way to Sacramento or somewhere. And he's on the freeways doing 90 miles an hour and he's going to meet the founder. I'm like, the founder of what? Founder of EXP, man. I'm like, really? So Nate went from, I'm thinking about maybe considering this as I get my stuff in line. So he calls me, I think, we talked when he was coming back home from up north. We talked on the phone for maybe at least an hour or so. Well, we didn't talk. Nate talked. I just kind of listened because he was so excited. And since then, we started this EXP journey together, and as business partners, as well as being friends. So I want to ask you now, fast forwarded it 4 years, and how things have worked. If for some of you guys who don't know, Nate, I'm not gonna go into his personal business, but I mean, because he's so productive, which is why Pilar and I came as well. His stocks, he's been able to accumulate things. I mean, he's been able to utilize his stocks to help his own personal positions as well. Besides his personal team, he's been able to also build, what we call our success teams and his revenue share teams. And I remember he's also in the last 14 months added, 36 people to his personal Nate Butcher group. So Nate, now that we're here. Tell me how you feel about not only your journey so far, but how do you feel about where it's going, more importantly?
Well, first of all, it was the best decision I ever made. I don't think that I could have the Nate Butcher Group, the team that I have, without EXP's platform. So if you're going to run a big team or something, if there's no, I could research any platform, and there's nothing. I mean, the multiple streams of income for me have been life changing. They bought the house that I'm sitting in right now. I mean, it's just amazing. So the stock has done amazing for me, something that I would have never had. And the revenue share, our success team that we have that we talk about, and that's done really well too. I mean, I focus mostly, I sell real estate, I'm running my team, but the platform that allows me to be able to have people on the Nate Butcher Group, and with the no overhead and no bills, and that's why EXP is doing so well. If you read about all Compass's trouble and how they're worth less now than they'll be lucky to even be here, all these different people. But EXP, the reason they're successful is they have no debt. So I try to mirror my team off of that. I have a brick and mortar office, but I have 5 offices for 40-some people because they don't even want it, right? It's so my overhead is only $2,500 a month with a big meeting room and a kitchen and 5 offices. That's enough for all of those people because we just go work, right? So, but it has changed. All the people that I've met. So the whole reason that I've been able to be successful in growing this team as fast as I did and as stable is because many of the big, powerful team leaders, I truly believe, are going to take over for all the brokerages. It's the big teams that are starting to sell all the transactions. Well, they are all moving to EXP, from Keller, from Century, from Caldwell Banker, from everybody, because the platform for EXP allows you to be able to board your teams. So it's a team environment. So, and I met those people at EXP who taught me how to do what I'm doing now. So 14 months is only in the beginning stages. We'll see where I'm at in 60 months. Okay. But let's just take one step at a time, enjoy the journey. But best decision I ever made. What's the future hold? What am I looking at? I'm not leaving EXP. I'm going to keep growing my success team the best I can, but I'm going to do it through teaching people how to sell real estate from my perspective. That's all I can do, right? I'm going to take what I learned. I'm going to teach it to my team. I'm going to teach it to my success team. I'm going to teach it to any other agents, just the best I can. And then they can take what they can from me, and then they'll get stuff from other people as well. But I can only give what I know. So, but I'm always willing to share that. I have no secrets. I'll tell anybody my business plan. I'll tell anybody what I'm doing. I'm not here to compete. There's enough success for everybody. I mean, there's so few people who really want to go get it that it doesn't matter. There's room for 100 other Nates. I mean, 1,000 other Nates and Elgins in LA County. So I'm not worried about it. Yeah.
That's a very eloquently put. Again, I want some of you guys, and I'm doing this to highlight certain things from people that you know or you should know. And for those of you that'll see this, that have listened to me talk in regards to EXP, know that I have a saying that I always say: there's no revenue to share if there's no revenue.
If there's no revenue.
I can also tell you that my wife and my wife's life have changed so much with this company. Even if Nate have not decided to come to EXP or blessed me with allowing me to be his sponsor. And that is because of the opportunity to build just through their stocks. Like, I don't know how many times, and we've dealt with clients, particularly in and they may be a first-time buyer or whatever. And you treat your goal is to treat everybody the same, but you're looking at them as okay, so they're an FHA buyer, or their minimum down payment, where's your cash reserves, and blah blah. You're doing all that stuff with the lender, and all of a sudden, they may not have as much money in their normal accounts as some other people. Then all of a sudden they would show you this $400,000 401k. And you're like, shoot, I don't have a $400,000 for nothing, right?
You
And
do now.
you're right, right. And then you start to think about it, and it's like, so just the fact that we were able to come here and just do the stuff that we've been doing for years, but now have something in additional to show for it. The reason why I'm bringing that up now is that, Nate, I know you do because we talk about it all the time, is because EXP has grown so, the haters out there, they're a recruiting company. The haters out there is, oh, nobody sells any real estate. The haters have all of these things to say. So I'm not in Nate's category, but there's some people that would like my production to have it. We'll say.
Of course.
You're talking to another one of the top agents in the country, and we don't, quote unquote, just recruit. We attract people.
Well,
But
I think that's a perfect way. And, you know, when people say that, it just shows you talk about, and I'm not saying it in a bad way, but it's just ignorance of the thing, because look at it like this. We're in our business, no matter what company you work for, we're the enrollment business. We enroll buyers. We enroll sellers. We have a company. We enroll. You're recruiting your buyers and sellers every day. You are calling them on the phone, trying to get them to come and work with you. So by sharing that with other agents, sharing the opportunity, look, here's what's happened to me. I have continued to sell real estate just like I did when I was at my other company, without a hitch. I've actually grown because of the platform with EXP, but let's just say EXP alone had nothing. The attraction or the enrollment of the other people, what's great about EXP is it's not just about you, and it's a team atmosphere. Because just like you, Elgin, yes, you enrolled me, but you've also enrolled many, many other people. So if Nate drops off, your whole life doesn't fall apart because you've got hundreds of other people, and it's just little pieces. So you know, it's kind of like this. What Amy and I say, we're trying to figure out where all of our deals are coming from, because we're getting sometimes 10 a month. I think now we have 14. We're trying to, okay, where are they coming from? And then when we put the source, it'll be this much on the page. So we're like, we just sell a house here and there, little fires everywhere, right? Like you can't, one will come from a referral, one will come from a lead over here, one will come from somebody we met out of state, and that's just the way it is. So when I have people come and talk to me about real estate, I tell them, if you want to build a team, because that's what I'm doing, there is no better platform. But if you want to be on a team, since all the big teams are coming, there's no better platform. And if you were just a single agent, why are you paying all of these fees when you can basically sell your homes, get your money back for being a top producer, and earn stock that is gifted to you? So when you close a transaction in all your other companies, you get nothing. Here, they're gifting you stock that's went up. I mean, how much has it gone up? I mean, it's always up and down, up and down. I've sold some of it, and recently it went up so high, I sold some and then it went down. I bought it all back at a discount. Now I get the same amount of shares as I had, right? So,
right.
I turned around and yeah, exactly. So, but you could just put that in there and you've got something at the end of your life. So it's the only real estate company I've seen where you could actually do your job in real estate the same as you do anywhere else. Nobody expects you to call agents and tell them to come to EXP if you don't want to. If one or two come, everybody naturally attracts somebody. Some of us will work harder at that part of it than others, but it's your choice. But the stock, they just gift it to you. It's perfect. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Forget the revenue share. Just the platform, the fees are low, and it's and we've got almost 100,000. I mean, we're going up into 90 now, 80 something, you know, and it's, I remember we had what, 10 or 12,000 when we came on. I think 10 when you came on, 12 when I came on, and people were like, "Oh, it's going to go under." They've been saying that since I came in because everybody's afraid. You know, the haters hate on EXP because it's the only beast that makes any difference. Nobody's out there hating on Pinnacle. Nobody's out there hating on Coldwell Banker. Well, because they're no threat. There's no threat. So EXP is a threat. You know, and the more houses you sell, the more haters. Hey, haters will tell you that you're in the right place. Haters will tell you you're in the right place.
Well, they you know, there's always that old saying that says, if you ain't got no haters and you ain't doing nothing right. So
that's exactly right. Because you can't keep everybody happy. No way.
That's right. That's right. Well, hey, listen, last question that I'll ask you. I'll ask you to like rub your crystal ball. And I've been telling agents, even agents on our success team, in trainings and stuff, is that the real estate market, it's not shifting. It has shifted.
Already shifted.
If you haven't figured it out, you're not busy enough yet. This is not January of 2022. This market shifted. It shifted quickly. And what are you seeing? Maybe I know we're both real, quote unquote, as they say, bullish long term. What are you feeling now, like as you navigate? Because you got a lot of people that you're working with.
Right. So
what are you thinking?
yeah, I don't think it's bad. I don't see a crash coming, nothing like that. Inventory is still low. They're not building enough homes. I don't see anything like that. I think that I'm not saying we're out of the worst of it yet, but I think the whole feeling of it being so bad so fast is because the Fed changed the rate so fast. So nobody had time to digest it, right? It didn't go a quarter. It went a point, a half a point, a quarter, 3 quarters. So it in a 90-day period, I had listings that I took where you tell them that they're going to get multiple offers, and then literally within a day, within 2 weeks, it went to where everything's sitting on the market. So here's what I think. I think the inventory will stack back up, but not crazy. And I think when the interest rates level out, people will understand, okay, I hate using the word new normal, but this is normal. This is okay. There was a correction. I think the prices on most properties, some great areas, they're always going to be still through the roof, but will settle a little. What do I mean by a little? I mean 5 to 10%. But you went up 40%. So if you settle 8%, you're still up 32%, So I think that's what's going to happen. And that's what I'm seeing. So when you see these price reductions, they're going to cease, I think, come around October, November, and you're just going to see more of a stable market. But it needs to be healthier where a buyer can negotiate a little bit and a seller has to, because we were getting to the point to where the demands were so bad, it was like spoiled children, So it was really bad, and I didn't like dealing with sellers who just it was just getting ridiculous. So I think now buyers have some choices. They can always refinance their home. There's many financing options. They're going to start picking up these houses again. We're getting our stuff sold. It's just 50 days on the market sometimes versus 2 minutes, right? So yeah, and I think that's healthier, and I'm okay with it. Hey, for me and my team, we need open houses. I need the houses to stay on the market a couple weeks, if I was to choose, right? So yeah, I think if I could say one thing to the agent that's listening, if there's anybody still hanging in there, is if you came in the market without skills, you could have survived for the last 4 or 5 years, no problem. Just have a license and you could have survived. In this market, you better have skills. You better be able to talk to your seller and explain to them why it's taking longer. Better be able to convince your buyer why it's a good time to buy a house. You're going to have to sharpen your skills, your training, your scripts, your dialogues, everything, because the statistic says that 30% of all agents will not re-up their MLS dues. So this is when we have a huge cleansing, right? We've seen it before, Elgin, and people are going to come back, and then we're going to be more skill-based. So the more skilled an agent is the more business, the more market share we're going to pick up. And my team is trained and they're skilled. We scripts and dialogues today. We're doing scripts and even if it's 30 minutes and we're all doing our scripts, we practice them. So it's second nature. That's how you do it. And that's how you win.
I like that, Nate. That's great. It's funny. Some of you guys have listened to some of the stuff that I've been saying. You just heard him go on a 2-minute dialogue.
Rant.
And I don't even call it rant because mine are rants. Because I get a little bit more whatever what I'm talking. But I did something out in LA with some agents about 3 weeks ago, and I asked the agents that have been in business 10 years or less to raise their hands. When half the room did, and then I said, I just want to say, welcome to real estate.
Yeah.
Because for the last 10 years, you haven't had to sell real estate, so now you get to find out. Are you a well-skilled real estate professional that can help their customers, or are you just a product of a good market?
That's right. That's right.
And if you're a product of a good market only, and you don't work on your skill base, look around at some of the people that just raise their hands because you're not going to see them next.
Yeah, Elgin, I learned that when we went through the short sale market. And I remember I had 41 short sale listings. They were taking 2 years to close. Remember those?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I had one that took 2 years, most of them a year, 8 months, 6, 7 months. But that's when I'm like, okay, there's all kinds of different markets. But I think this market we're in now, I think it's going to be a more of a long-term push.
Yeah.
Everything changes every 10 years. So if you think we've got another 9.5 years of this, you better get your skills, you better get dialed in, you better get on the team. I'm looking for anybody who will work hard, and we've got spots. So it's just a matter of finding the place that fits right for you. That's what we're looking for.
Well, with that being said, Mr. Nate Butcher, I want you to know how much I appreciate it. I know that there are people that are pulling for your time all of the time, and I appreciate that you give me the opportunity here to reach out. So there's people here that are on our team that are going to see this, that don't know you. There are going to be people here, agents, some of you guys that are saying, what's Nate doing, or what's Elgin doing, or what's EXP doing? So now you know. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. And Nate, man, my friend, I appreciate you, your wife, your kids. Tell everybody hello for
I will.
It
was awesome.
One of these days, maybe we'll break some bread again when everybody's not so busy.
We will. We will. I appreciate it. Anything you guys need, reach out to me, give me a call, text, whatever. And Elgin always knows how to get a hold of me.
Absolutely. All right.
All right.